I'm super excited about these new full coverage tips for toenails. What I think is cool about them is that you could fix like a minor nail that's like crooked off the side, missing a corner, or if it's just barely growing out and half grown out, you can make it look totally normal. So I'm going to show you how you do it. So what I'm going to do is push back the cuticle with my magic wand. Then I'm going to use a medium arbor band on anywhere from 4 to 6 RPMs. Okay, you don't need any pressure, you just have to take off the shine, as you can see. Go ahead and dust this off. Then I'm going to, sometimes I will get my little square bit. I think this is great. She doesn't have a lot of cuticle, but especially if I'm gonna put an enhancement on her toe, I'm gonna make sure that I have everything clean here. Takes off dry skin and everything. Then what I'm going to do is dust this off. And before I protein bond it or swipe it, I'm going to size her tips. I picked 2 of, I think this is like the 3rd biggest and the 2nd biggest and the third biggest. I want to match it to her other side. So what I'm going to do, you have to keep in mind it can't go past your sidewalls. It's just like when you're putting a tip on a finger. The cool thing about these, as you can see right here, look how flexible these are. Like they could go for a very flat nail, super curved. It's very flexible. It is not going to damage their toes. That's why I like them so much. So I'm gonna start with the bigger one and see if this is going to fit. Now I could see this is kind of too big. It's kind of overlapping over here a little more. Let's see what this one fits like. And remember, it doesn't have to fit all the way back to the cuticle. When you're fitting it back to the cuticle, I like to leave a margin so you could blend it in. That way they never feel a lip back here when it grows out. So let's see what this one's like. Okay, so let me show you how I measure it. Okay, look really close at this. See where her cuticle is, how it's a little more space here, but not here. It is on straight, that's just how her cuticle is. So I'm gonna leave this negative space here. When the gel's on there, it holds on really quick. I'm going to line it up with her sidewall. See how even it is right here with her sidewall? Let me get it even. There we go. And then I like to use these little tweezers because it holds it in place. When you look at this other side right here, I'm gonna kind of turn her sideways just so you could see. It meets even with her sidewall. If you could see her sidewall coming straight, you could see the plastic going up. It's still correct because when you push it down, you could see her sidewall is straight. So this one's gonna be a perfect fit. So I'm going to use that one. Okay, once you have your size you wanna use, you are going to take your arbor band and you're going to season the inside of it. And all you're doing is texturing it. Then I like to use this little thing, this little tab here to put it where I like it before I'm going to cure it. Then I'm going to go into swipe to change the pH balance. Cleanse the nail. Take your protein bond out. Remember to be aware of it not dry. If it's wet like it was, see how it's dry now? When it's wet, swipe cancels out protein bond. So it's important that it's completely dry before you apply it. Okay, so let's come down here. And we only have to repair her big toe. And actually hers isn't bad. Her other one's super square, like kind of a soft square. So I need to make it look like the other one. She exercises a lot, so these being so flexible, it's not ever going to lift her nail or anything. Like you could really see the flexibility in these. I can't stress it enough, so nice. So what I'm gonna do from here is I'm gonna use fiber gel. And I'm gonna use the clear one. And I'm going to start in the middle and leave a perimeter around the nail. See how there's none right here? I'll get it a little closer, about right there. Because once you press down, it's going to kind of protrude out to the free edge. So you don't want it to come out too far. If you do, you could fix it. So if that happens, all you're gonna do is e-file it. Because it doesn't necessarily, you'll see what I'm talking about when I get there. It doesn't necessarily have to be completely a plastic tip. You could e-file on it to shape it how you want to once it's cured in there. Okay, so now I'm going to get my tip and I'm going to turn this light on. Get it about where I want it. And actually where it needs to be adhered the most is on the free edge. You don't want anything lifted up. If for some reason, because toes really bend a lot, it's lifted in a spot and it didn't hold on, I would just file it off. So we'll see what happens here. I think it's gonna cure pretty perfect though, because it looks like I have plenty of gel. So get it placed exactly where you want it. Then you're going to put pressure and then come over to the light. I love how these are connecting. It's hooked on well. It's already adhered. If for some reason when you put it on you see negative spacing in here, you need a little more fiber gel. Okay, I'm going to turn on one more time. Or they could go under the LED light when you do the other big toe if you're working on a couple. You could literally do a full set with these if you wanted to. Not everybody has perfect toes. This cured beautiful. So let me show you what it looks like. Still has this little tab here. Now let me explain to you. When you see right here, it's close to the cuticle here, but the cuticle kind of goes back and there's that negative space. That's correct, because if you look at it on the free edge, you could see it's perfect. It created that little gap there that we had. So all we have to do now is trim off this little tab. And I'm going to file some of the plastic down. So I'm going to use both of these bits, my arbor band and my safety bit. Now my safety bit isn't going to touch her natural nail. It's just going to take down a little bit of the plastic to blend it in. And I'm not going to use any pressure. I'm just going to make contact and drag it across, and you'll see really close how I do it. So as you can see, there's a little lip here. And that's why I don't want you to put it all the way back. Also, if I put it all the way back, it wouldn't have made it nice on the free edge. Your focus is on the free edge. It doesn't have to be full, like fit all the way back. It's not gonna mess up anything if it doesn't. So I'm gonna come in right here. See, I'm writing on the plastic, no pressure, just blending in. Let's go over it again. Do not touch the natural nail with this. You could even thin it out a little through here if you want. Now see how it's flush with her nail? Okay, once it's close to being like completely flush, you're going to go into your arbor band. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to prep back here again a little and blend everything in. And then I'm going to prep all the way through. Now I'm going to make sure these are even once I prep the top of this plastic and blend everything in. Okay, could you bring your other foot up here really quick? I just want to compare them, put them together. Okay, and I could trim it just a little bit. So let me show you what I'll do. I like to do it with my nippers, really sharp nippers. I just kind of line up the jaw. These are super sharp, so I recommend a really sharp nipper to do this. See, it's looking exactly the same. And here's a little free edge that is actually fake, but it looks thin and real. So what I'm going to do from there is take my 150 file and just fine tune this. Make sure my sides are good a little. Look at all my sides. My sidewall is straight. I'll kind of curve it in a tad bit because the other one is. Okay, you can put your foot down. So all I did was compare. So now what I'm going to do is just make sure it's all straight everywhere I need it to be. Okay. You come right here and make sure it's straight. Okay. So on her other toe, it starts to come in a little here. So I'm matching them exactly, okay? As close as you could get. So what I'm gonna do from here is go ahead and fold this over because there's a lot of dust on it. And actually your setup in salon, you can make it however you want. This is just a quick setup to educate the procedure of what we're doing. Dust this off. So what I'm going to do is protein bond this, and I'm gonna do the glitter press I did on her other toes. This is the only toe that I had to fix. The other ones, I would probably, if it started from the beginning, would fix this toe and then do all the glitter presses at once. But just learning how to put it on, I think getting to the point is really quick. Now what I'll do is I'll take rose quartz as my base. Could use champagne too, but I'm going to use a little darker one. You know, you don't have really, I'm only working on 2, so I'm going to do this. And actually some clients only need a couple like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come in here and just gel polish this. So what I did is I shaped it exactly like the other one. Her sides are slightly rounded and kind of a soft square. Okay. Once I feel like I got it all even, she will go under the light for at least 30 seconds. I'm going to use 10 times $sign and shimmering sand, probably 2 of my favorite colors. So I'll come here. See how it kind of leaves a little bit of a negative space. If you notice, I pick it up and go down every time because I don't want this sticky. Okay, dust this off. Then I'm going to go into my shimmering sand. And I'm not going to overpower it with this either. I'm just going to kind of touch it to fill in the negative space so it could look more like a metal color. Clean our cuticle out. So what I'm going to do is get a tab. And again, you could wear gloves. I cleaned her feet before. I don't like to wear gloves when I'm working on their feet once they're all clean. But you can wear gloves and you could glitter press with the glove. If not, you just use a tab on this side, which is a really cool way to press it all in and make it look like metal. Then I will take my orange wood stick and make sure everything's clean around the cuticle area before I cure her gel. Now remember, this is in cured gel, but I only left it in there for 30 seconds. So that means it still has curing time. So when she goes under, she is going to cure it a little longer so the glitter holds on. Okay, so she will go under the light. 20 to 30 seconds is plenty, but when you're doing the other foot, just leave them in there as long as they need to be. It's not going to hurt them. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to take a manicure top coat because it is a soft gel. It's flexible, it's really flexible like the tip. So I don't want to put anything really hard gel on her. Everything really flexible. So I'm going to put 1 coat of manicure top, and what this is going to do is kind of self-level over all the glitter. And she's going to go under for a second once I wipe her sides and make sure everything's clean. It is, but I always double check myself. She'll go under. And while I'm putting a top coat on the other side. Now a tip, sometimes I'll do big toe under, and then the little toes, because sometimes it'll self-level back in the cuticles. So it's just a tip I do. So 15 seconds, that's plenty. Go ahead and come up, and I'm gonna put her final top coat. I always put 2 because this will self-level over everything and she'll feel no bumps. Okay, so now she'll final cure for 1 full minute. When she brings it out, I'm going to cleanse it. I get all that glitter off. Glitter sticks to everything, but it's so cute. Okay, and now I'm going to kind of fine tune it a little, shape it like her free edges on her other. Make sure it's clean on her sidewalls. Go down a little more. Okay, then I'm going to come in and take my square bit again. And again, this is it's a 150 grit. So I'm gonna come in and make sure everything's clean, no dry skin or anything. I'm not putting any pressure. All I'm doing is making sure nothing's caught. It's really clean. I like to come up right here when I use glitter always. Now come in and put rose oil. And typically when you do a gel toe service or something like this, you want to do it before you give them a pedicure. So make sure you just sanitize their feet and work on it. If you upsell them during a pedicure, you could always at the end change the pH balance with swipe, and I would do it a couple times. So make sure, like, wipe it once, let it kind of dry, then wipe it again. Then that way it takes off all the oils and it will adhere very well from then. Okay, so there you go. Hope you liked this video.
Subscribe the channel now. Subscribe the channel now. Sub and subscribe and